Hi, William. Remember in the last chapter, Jack and Annie made it back to Camelot, and it was Christmas in Camelot again, and everybody was having a big party. But there's one more chapter to go. Let's see what happens here. It's chapter 16, and it's called Welcome Home. Wake up, Jack, said Annie. Jack opened his eyes. He was lying in the dark on the wooden floor of the treehouse. Through the windows, he saw the cloudy sky above the Frog Creek woods. Time to go home, said Annie. Oh, I must have fallen asleep, said Jack. I had the most incredible dream. I dreamed that we went to Camelot. It was Christmas and Merlin and that wasn't a dream, said Annie. It was real. You fell asleep at the round table during the party. King Arthur himself carried you to the treehouse, and I made the wish for us to come home. Jack sat up. Seriously? He whispered. Seriously, she said. Jack! Annie! Their mom called in the distance. Coming! Annie shouted out the treehouse window. She turned to Jack. Come on, let's go. I mean, seriously? It really happened? Jack asked Annie again. Yes, really, she said. She held up the royal invitation. See? Proof! Oh, yeah, he whispered. This time, the letter M stood for Merlin, not Morgan, said Annie. Jack smiled. He said, Thanks, Merlin. Jack picked up his backpack. Then he and Annie started down the rope ladder and headed home. As they walked through the deep December twilight, snowflakes started to fall. By the time they left the woods and headed down their street, snow was swirling everywhere. Ahead, they could see their house glowing with lamplight. Their mom was waiting on their front porch. Hi, Mom, said Annie. Hi, Mom, said Jack. Hi, kids. Did you have a good day? She asked. Yeah, said Jack. Pretty good, said Annie. I'm glad, said their mom. Welcome home. She held the door open, and Jack and Annie slipped inside. Their house felt extra warm and cozy. Good smells came from the kitchen. Jack and Annie took off their snow-covered jackets, then headed up the stairs. In the hallway, Annie turned to Jack. Merry Christmas, she said simply. Merry Christmas, he said. Annie slipped into her room, and Jack into his. Jack closed his door and sat on his bed. He took his notebook out of his pack and opened it. His spirits sank. Except for the 3 rhymes, he'd taken no notes on their journey. Not one. Exhausted, Jack lay back on his bed. He squeezed his eyes shut. He tried to remember the details of their adventure in Camelot and the other world. He could feel the terrible chill in the great hall when Morgan was frozen. He could hear the joyful music as the winged dancers danced around in their circle. He could taste the sweet, bitter, spicy taste of the water of memory and imagination. Jack sat up. All at once he felt very awake. He turned to a clean page in the notebook. He grabbed his pencil and wrote, It all started when we saw the white dove in the twilight. Using his memory and imagination, Jack kept writing, doing his part to keep the legend of King Arthur, the Knights of the Round Table, Merlin, and Morgan Le Fay alive. As the snow swirled outside his window, Jack wrote and wrote and wrote. He didn't stop writing until he had written down the whole story. His story of their Christmas in Camelot. And there's Jack writing down all the notes about their story. And that's the end of our story, Christmas in Camelot. Okay, it was fun reading to you. I'll see you soon. Love you. Bye.